Welcome everybody to the Blue Belt curriculum. We're going to get started with knee hops. So in today's class, we're going to be working on round kicks and defending low round kicks. And we're just going to be warming up our legs and our hips. So we're going to dive right into this. So what's going to happen here, I'm going to borrow Daniel, actually, I'm going to hold his leg. I'm going to place my hand and kind of gauge how high he wants to jump. So let's not get too ridiculous when we're working our partners. Don't put it up here. About waist level is a good spot for him. Go. So he's just going to hop up, bringing his knee up. Now, if for whatever reason, if you have a really hard time with balance, you can place one hand on your partner's shoulder as he's hopping up. Or maybe if we're not able to get super high, I can also gauge and maybe just put it around his knee level as he's doing a little bit smaller variation of a hop up. All right, so we're gonna do 10 on each leg. Daniel will get started. Roy's gonna be holding his leg. Ready and begin. 2, 3, 4. Now, if you guys don't have a partner at home, simply just lift one leg up and use your own hand as a gauge as you hop up. There we go. Notice he has a good rhythm. He's just keeping that hopping going. Awesome. Very nice. Switching it up and go. All right, 10 on the other leg. Good rhythm, Roy. Very nice. Awesome job. So now we're going to work those hip flexors a little bit. What's going to happen is you're going to place your hand on the wall. We'll watch Daniel here. He's going to bring his leg up, and notice he's going to have his toes pointed out, almost like a side kick. Okay, and then he's going to bring it right back down. So he's just going to lift up, right back down, up, back down. So we're going to do 10 on each leg. Go ahead and get to that spot. Ready and begin. So you're just going to go on your own. Guys at home, start off low and then gradually get a little bit higher and higher and higher. We don't want to hurt ourselves right off the bat. But notice they have good body alignment. They're not leaning forward as they do this. You guys need to make sure you guys are doing the same thing at home. Good pace, awesome. So now we're going to be sticking with the wall. What we're going to be doing now is almost like a round kick, if you will. So we're just going to be talking about a basic stretch, a great workout for our legs. So I'm going to place my hand on the wall. I'm going to bring my knee up. I want good body alignment. I don't want to be leaning forward or having my knee pointed anywhere. So my knee will be pointed out. I'm going to point my toes and bring it right back. So I'm bringing my heel back to my bottom, out, back, out, back. So we're just going nice and easy, pulsing out. We're going to do 1 minute each leg. So here we go. 1 minute in 3, 2, 1, begin. So make sure we bring that knee just a little bit more here. Good body alignment. Yeah, that's what we want. Feel that stretch now. There we go. Good. So everything's in a nice straight line. That's exactly what you want. Perfect. Bring that knee back just a little bit that way. There you go. We're halfway there. Make sure we breathe. The last 15 seconds, we're going to speed it up. We're going to be doing a burst. Ready, set, and go. Burst. So going fast, keep it going. Get that leg going. Warming up those hips. 3 seconds, 2, 1, time. All right, what goes right must go left, or what goes left must go right. Other leg. Ready? And 3, 2, 1, begin. So nice and easy. Point those toes out. Point them out this way towards me. Yeah, there you go. Awesome job. That's exactly what we want. Very nice. So at home, maybe if you can't kick that high, that's fine. You can just point your knee down a little bit lower, extend that leg out. That's okay too. But just keep going. Halfway there. I'll get that knee back this way. There you go. 5 seconds. We're gonna do that burst again. 3, 2, 1, burst, go. As fast as you can. Keep pumping it out. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Come on, we're almost done. We're almost there. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. 3, 2, 1, time. Awesome job. All right. So we're going to continue loosening up those hips a little bit with just a really, really good stretch for today. What you're going to do is you're going to bring your knee up, circling to the outside. So we've definitely done this one before. Just knee up, circle to the outside. We're just going to alternate left leg and right leg. Get that knee up, circle it out. Couple more. And time. So if you guys needed a few extra stretches at home, feel free to do so. These warm-ups were designed to definitely stretch out and warm you up for what we're about to do today. All right, so now we're going to be discussing the low round kick. All right, now round kicks can be thrown low, medium, high. They can be thrown from a lot of different angles. The round kick is actually a very, very, very effective kick when done properly. Now, sometimes this kick will take a few to actually cause damage to somebody that doesn't know what they're doing. Sometimes this isn't going to be the greatest kick to throw repetitively. If I have the option to kick to the groin versus kicking to the side of the leg, I'm most likely going to kick to the groin. That's going to get the job done a lot faster. But I may find myself in a situation to where that's just not an option and I have to throw. Or maybe they're down on their knees and trying to throw a groin kick isn't going to work, but this round kick to the face could work if I'm throwing a low round kick. So we're going to demonstrate that low round kick. Daniel here, we're going to hold the pad for me. So from here, just a little bit higher for me. All right. Other side. Let's go other leg. And time. So throwing the round kick can be done from our back leg, it can be done from our front leg, it can be done with switching as well. Now, like I said, if I have the option of throwing an instep kick or a groin kick, if you will, I'm going to take that option. But maybe if he's down on the floor on his knees, for whatever reason, I punched him and he's about to get up, that low round kick can still be done to the side of the head right here. I don't always have to throw a super high kick. If we're in a fight, if I was timing this correctly, or aiming this correctly, I could hit to the side of the knee as well. And Muay Thai and MMA and kickboxing, they're going to want to hit in this general area, the common peroneal. A lot of nerves are running right there. So if I can catch him a couple times there, eventually it's going to start to feel like a Charlie horse. He's going to want to switch his stance up. But that does take time. But if I go to the knee and I can catch him right there on the side of the knee, buckle that knee, hopefully get him off balance, that's another great option in a self-defense scenario. So what we're going to do is we're going to practice the movement and get you guys a little bit more used to it and how to turn our hips. So I'll borrow Roy on this one. What he's going to do is just place his leg up like we did for the jumps. Now instead of jumping up, we already had this motion and we're used to it. He's just going to turn his hips over and then hop right back. Turn your hips over, hop right back. Hop over and back, over and back, over and back. All right, so we can see it from a different angle. Okay, I'm gonna hold kind of near his Achilles. I'm gonna place it right here on the side of my leg, so that way it's more of a low round kick, if you will. He's gonna turn over and back. So he's taking his shin and putting it into the side of my leg. Again, again, one more, and time. So that's the movement that I want you to do with your partner. Now, if you don't have a partner, the way we can practice this at home is I'll just put my hand on the wall. I'll bring my leg up. I'm going to turn and back, turn and back, turn and back, turn and back. So if you don't have the luxury of somebody holding, that's just what we'll do. You can kind of do the same motion in the air. Just turning your hips over is a key thing for what we're doing on the first part of our kick before we really break this down more into detail. So here we go. Let's practice this movement and go. We're just going to do 10 each leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other leg. And go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Switch it up. And go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other side. And go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And time. So I really wanted you guys to understand and feel that hip motion before I start to break this kick down. So it's very, very important you understand the rotation of our hips. So that way when I'm discussing it, it'll piece together a lot more. So go ahead and hold the pad for me again. Now if we think about what we just did, that movement. So we had our leg up and we were turning over. So one of the biggest parts of our round kick is our pivot. If I do not pivot and I have my knee pointed at him when I throw a very powerful kick and I try to turn my hips over, there's going to be so much pressure on my knee that I can damage my knee. I have seen people who have actually damaged their knee and messed it up pretty good from not pivoting. You know, we can talk about that all day, the pivot, 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 but if you don't do it, somebody doesn't listen to you and you go to kick, there's just so much torque and tension on that you can really hurt your knee. So I can't stress that enough. Pivot, 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 pivot when you throw this kick if you're really committed to it. So first thing is first, especially when you're first learning this, step in the direction that I'm about to throw the kick. So think about that hop that we just did. We were chambering and then we would hop. But I want this to be the first thing that you do. Turn your foot. From there, after I turn my foot up, I'm going to bring my knee up. So now let's go back to that warm-up. When we were here, our hand was on the wall, we were kicking. So think about the wall being directly behind me. So imagine Roy here's the wall. So I would turn, almost like I'm putting my hand on him. Now I wouldn't do that as I'm doing the kick, but this is what I want you guys to think about. So the wall's behind me, I'm chambering that knee up, and then think about that hip rotation workout. So all of these movements you've already felt. So now we're just gonna piece it together. So one, imagine the wall's behind me, and then I'm gonna turn my hip over and coming back. Now when we hit, we discussed in the warm-up, pointing our toes. Ideally, I want to hit with my shin. That's just going to be a lot more effective because if I'm kicking him, and let's say I was going for the knee here, and I kicked with my toes, I could damage my toes. There's a lot of small bones in our foot, so I'd much rather use this big heavy bone that I have here. So coming around, hitting with that tibia, cracking that leg really, really hard. So again, nice and easy. I'm going to step in the direction that I'm kicking. I'm going to chamber that knee up. All right. From there, I'm going to whip it down. So it's almost like a rainbow, if you will. So I'm coming up and then down, chopping down hard. And then I'm going to recoil the leg back to where I started from. So one more time. Turn, come up, down, and back. The way I get my leg back is by pushing off of him. So as I make contact, instead of just falling through or just bringing my feet back together, my shin is going to push off to dig even deeper on their leg or knee, wherever I ended up kicking, to get this back faster. Here, push, and I'm back to my stance. So we're going to practice that in the air a couple times. Thank you. So go ahead and everyone get to their fighting stance. We'll kick with our right leg first. So from this position, everyone's going to step. That's the first thing. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to bring that knee up. Then we're going to turn those hips over, stepping down. Now from this point, I would not want to end like this. Okay, this is just a practice in the air. So a lot of times what we do when we practice a round kick in shadow boxing, we come up, we kick, and we bring our leg around. Now you're going to see where we talk about this shield here in a minute. So for right now, what I'd like to see you guys do is kick and just turn back to our stance. So let's practice that. Here we go. Ready? And one. And back down. Ready? And two. Kick. Back down. Three. Back down. Four. Back down. And five. All right. So now what we're going to do, you're going to stay in that stance. We're just going to kick with the other leg. So we're going to switch our feet. And as I switch, I want to make sure I'm going in that direction to save time. So my switch is here. I'm already pivoted, ready to kick. Here we go, ready, and 1. Getting back to a good stance, good balance. Ready, and 2. Good. 3. 4. Make sure we go back to our stance, and 5. All right, so now you may be asking, why the spin? You know, in a lot of traditional styles, they'll do more of like a snapping kick. So go ahead and demonstrate that. So if you're just kicking and then bringing the leg back, right back. Okay, so you'll see that. Now that is a really good form, and that is great technique, but what we want you to understand is if I'm kicking, I'm throwing my whole body into that kick. I only have 1 or 2 chances of actually getting this kick off in a fight or in a self-defense situation. So if I'm committed to it, I need to make sure I put my whole body into it. You know, we already practiced the technique. Okay, that's a great way to practice technique, but this is now putting our whole body into the kick. All right, so what we're gonna do now is simply be kicking to the pads with our partner. Now, if you do not have a pad, just have a bag. Pull out your bag, practice kicking on your heavy bag at home, and work this motion. But if you do have a partner, if you do have the luxury of a tombstone pad, or excuse me, a kicking shield, I love these pads for when you're kicking because it will give me cushion, but it's also gonna make me aiming for where I'm kicking. So one small detail as I'm holding. If you notice, Daniel is already doing it, but I want to turn my toes, once again, in the direction that the kick is coming from. I don't want to put this pad on the side of my knee, well, for obvious reasons, because this is a very powerful kick. You can hurt your knee. So we're going to place it on top of our quad. I'm going to be right here, and I'm going to step. So as he kicks, so we'll actually go this way real quick. So I don't want to have the pad facing him. I want his shin to be coming in. So I'm going to turn kind of where the side of my leg would be. So now when he kicks, it's hitting. So if he was to kick without the pad there, that's what's happening. So I'm just placing that pad right there on top. Kick again, and back. Now, last detail I want to talk about, if you notice, he's throwing that arm down. So the reason for this, when he kicks, he throws his arm down and freeze. All right, so right there, freeze. So what's happening here is this is just going to give us a little bit more torque. So it's kind of like that whipping motion. I'm throwing my upper body down to just do the body sponsorship for my hip and my knees and just get a lot more power. Instead of just keeping our hands up and kind of turning this way, we're now whipping back to just create more momentum here. So how's this gonna work? We're gonna throw 10 round kicks on each leg. So ready, going nice and low, make sure we're holding the pad correctly, and begin. 1, go, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, other leg. So on this one, go to your stance, and I want to see you do that switch kick. So we're going to switch our feet and kick. Go. 1, 2, good pivot. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Switch it up. And begin. So if you guys are by yourself at home right now, don't have a partner, you do the kicks again. So try to keep that other hand up here. Yeah, holding that pad. There you go. Turn those toes just a little bit. Yeah. Turn the toes, turn the toes. There you go, landing on the quad. Good. Awesome kicks, Daniel. Very good, good power. All right, and time. So now there are a lot of modifications of throwing the low round kick. And eventually, what we do want is for you not to even have to step. The reason we want you stepping in the beginning is to learn the pivot and practice that more. A natural pivot is when I'm in my fighting stance and I just go and I throw the kick. And I'm always going to come up to the ball of my foot. That way I create less friction. So now that you guys have gotten a little bit comfortable with it, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna just throw 5 on each leg, but I want you to do the kick without stepping in the direction. So that step is really kind of telegraphing your kick. Could I set up other stuff and throw a side kick or something? Absolutely. Could I just come here and go spinning back kick? Absolutely. You can do a lot of different setups from that step. But what I want you guys to work on now is just naturally pivoting. So we're going to practice that motion first. So we're going to be in our fighting stance. What we're going to do is we're not even going to throw a kick. We're just going to bring that knee up and chamber and circle it all the way around. So imagine there's like a cone right here. You got to clear that cone by bringing your knee up just a little bit higher than it, and our knee's going to come sideways as we spin all the way around. So that's our goal, is to throw enough force behind this kick that is going to bring me all the way back. So getting on the ball of your foot, not on your tiptoes, but the ball of your foot to where you still have bounce. So here we go. Ready? And 1. So we're not kicking, we're just throwing that knee around. And 2, 3. Make sure we bring it up sideways. And 4. And 5. All right, other leg, switch your stance. Ready, and 1. Ready, get that foot over. And 2. There it was, good. 3. 4. And 5. All right. So the reason, once again, for that natural pivot is to not telegraph our kick. In the beginning stages, yes, we want to step in that direction to learn our pivot from that motion. After you get comfortable with it, I highly recommend that you start to practice just our natural pivot. So if he's holding the pad, what I mean by this is just from here, I'm already facing him. I kick and I'm right back. Kick, right back. So we're going to do 5 on each leg. Ready, hands are up, and go. Turn those hips hard. 2. Like you're spinning in a circle. Come on, throw your whole body. 4. Much better, Roy. Awesome. 5, other side. Ready, and go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch it up. And go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Other side. Turn those toes. Side over there we go. Front of our leg. And go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And time. Very nice. So that is throwing our low round kick. So now what if we're dealing with a kickboxer or someone who's done Muay Thai or traditional, whatever it is, and they're throwing the low round kick at us. So maybe they've already kicked me once and caught me off guard, and now I need to realize, like, okay, this person's throwing round kicks. So we're going to talk about 2 ways of defending a low round kick. Now, the most obvious way, and we're not necessarily going to work this one, but if he does kick, I'm just simply shuffling back. That's it, just shuffle back, get out of the way. But now we're going to talk about more technique, how to actually do it. So if he does throw the kick at me, the first one that we're going to talk about is shielding. So again, he kicks, again, other side, and go, and time. So now when the kick is coming in, this is not my personal favorite one. I'm not a huge fan on shielding a kick. The reason for it is this is something that takes time. So yes, my shins are conditioned. I've had a lot of experience in Muay Thai kickboxing, so I can go shin to shin, but you're still gonna feel it. Even if you kill all these nerves, you're still gonna feel that impact. If you watch professional Muay Thai fighters, they're just here, boom, checking kicks all day. They still feel it as well. So over time, it is going to wear your leg down, and you're going to see, like in the beginning of the fight, to where they start to check, to where they start to absorb or try to catch, and they kind of wear their shins down. It's not a good feeling at all. Plus, a lot of times too, not a lot of times, excuse me, but you'll actually see where somebody goes to check a kick, their leg can get broken, the other person's leg can get broken. So we need to understand that shielding is a great way of inflicting pain on them, but it can inflict pain on us too as well. And just using that bone to bone to block. So now what's happening here, go to this side for me. When this kick comes in, think about the way that we held the pad. So we would turn our toes out in the direction the kick was coming, but now we're simply going to be lifting our leg up And imagine that there's a string attached to the inside here of my arm, so it's tied around my arm. I'm going to be bringing that knee to the inside of my arm. I don't want to bring it directly towards my knee. If I'm under stress or something, I may do this motion too hard and give myself a dead leg. So from here, it's a lot better to just train, bringing it to the inside. Now the next step that I want to do is actually have my weight going forward. I don't want to be leaning back when he kicks, because that's going to knock me off balance. So my weight goes into it. So as he's kicking, my weight's here, and I'm going right back down. So I'm up, contact, going back down. The way that I like to think about my weight is if I were to block and throw a cross at him. And that is a really, really effective counter as well. So if he's here, blocking, striking with that cross. So that is one way of thinking about it. Our weight is just traveling forward after our cross. So go ahead and go back over there. You're good right here. So we're going to practice that motion a couple times. So facing this front, ready? You guys are practicing at home with us. We're going to bring that knee up to the side, right back down. Ready? And 1, right back down. And 2, and we're curling those toes up as well, flexing our shin muscle. And 3, 4, and 5. Now what if the kick was coming with the other leg? Well, what we're going to do is instead of pointing it this direction, we're now going to have it this direction using the same leg. The reason for that, it's a lot faster to defend with our front leg than it is our back leg. Yes, you can defend with your back leg. There's nothing wrong with that, but we're just doing the front. So here we go. We're going to bring it to this arm now as we're still going forward. Ready? And 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right. So here we go, we're going to practice now. If you guys have shin guards at home, I highly recommend that you put them on. So if you notice, Daniel here has shin guards. If you guys don't have shin guards, tie like a sweater around your leg or something, especially if this is the first time you're ever doing it. Do not go hard at first. If you've never had any experience, start off slow. All right, so here we go, ready? And 5 kicks each leg, begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so now he's kicking with the left leg. And go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, switching it up. Roy, you're defending, and begin. 1, 2, turn those toes a little bit more towards me. 3, let's widen up our stance a little bit. There we go, and go. 4, have that weight go forward, and 5. All right, other side. No, go back to your stance. He's kicking with the other leg now, and go. 1, weight go forward. 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, and time. So at home, if you guys are practicing that, like I said, go very, very slow. So I don't have shin guards. I know Roy doesn't have shin guards. This is the speed that we'll be throwing. So he has, you're going to do the defense. Okay. I'm going to go from here, just nice and easy. I'm just barely touching his shin. I'm not going all the way through kicking hard. That is how you hurt yourself, especially if you've never done this before. So start off slow, very, very easy, like so. So now what's going to happen, we're just going to do a quick little drill. This is going to be reading the body. So he gets to decide to throw with either leg. My job is to always watch center of the chest when I'm in the fight. The way that I read a kick coming is where I see that knee rising up. The knee is rising up. Now sometimes can it bring one knee up and switch and kick with the other leg? Absolutely, that could happen. And that's where if I'm blocking low, I need to switch and get my hands to the other side. That's for a different day. So from here, I'm just watching his knees. So if he goes slow, I'm seeing that knee chamber. That's how I read the body. But I'm not going to fixate my eyes at the knee because maybe he fakes it and then my hands are down and I'm looking down and I don't see that punch coming. So always looking center of the chest. That's how we read the round kick coming. So he kicks either leg. And time. So your partner is going to throw 10 kicks, right or left leg. My job is to just read them, practicing. All right, ready? So Roy, you can kick first. Daniel's defending first. And go. Good. Now if you mess up, that is okay. We're still practicing. Getting your leg up instead of taking the whole impact on the inside is so much better. Just be careful if you do defend with the wrong leg that you may spin a little bit. You just got to be prepared for that. That's why we always want our weight going forward. All right, switching it up. And go back to your stance. Switch it. There you go. And go. Very nice. Weight goes a little bit more forward. That was perfect. Good. All right, and time. So now we're going to move on to our second defense, which is called absorbing. Now, believe it or not, you guys actually have already done this, the way that we were holding the pad. So if you think about it, I'm just going to grab the tombstone just really quick. So we were here, instead of placing it on the side of our leg, we turned our toes in the direction that the kick was coming, and we placed it on top of our quad. Now, if I were holding the pad and you go, actually come to this side. If I was holding the pad and he was kicking, go, I want to lean in a little bit, just like we did with our check. So that way I'm not taking the full blow. Go back. So now let's say the pad is not there. This kick, or this kick defense, excuse me, is taking this, the vulnerable areas of our legs, the femoral artery here, and then the common peroneal here, and we're, instead of taking the blows on the side of our legs, we're now taking it more so on the front of our leg. So I'm going to be taking it on the quad. We have a much bigger muscle mass here, a lot stronger. So if he does kick, I'm going to turn, and I'm going to lean into it, and hopefully it's at an angle that I might be able to have him slide up a little bit too. So as he kicks, I'm here lunging in. So that's the motion again. I'm lunging in. So my weight's going forward, almost like a small little shuffle, if you will. Now, if he was to kick with the other leg, I'm turning it that direction. So again, turning my leg in. One more, turning my leg in. So that one, I'm going to rotate my hips just a little bit more. On this one, I'm just going to turn my foot out and lunge forward. So let's practice that motion in the air a couple times. So we're going to imagine that the leg is coming from the outside, not the inside. So we're going to be kind of turning our toes in the direction of the kick, lunging forward. Ready again, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, other side. Ready, and 1. Rotating those hips, 2, 3, 4, 5, and time. So now you guys are going to practice this motion. Once again, if you guys do not have shin guards, do not go hard. Go nice and easy. Even if you have shin guards, this is the first time, you're going like 30, 40% power. If you don't have shin guards, this is what I'm doing. I'm just placing my shin upon his leg. Okay, I'm not coming down and chopping hard on this one. All right, we're going to throw 10 each leg. And go ahead and go first, Troy. 1. So absorbing the kick. Once again, this is kind of like that last second reaction. Because yes, over time, this will do damage to your legs, so this is not where we want to defend the whole time. Very nice. So he's turning the toes opposite direction, rotating the hips, flexing that quad. All right, switch stance, there we go, and go. Lunging forward into it, yep. Couple more, very nice, Roy. Good. All right, very nice. So now what we're going to do is that same drill. My partner is going to throw a total of 10 kicks, either right leg or left leg. My job is to just read it and absorb. One more. So I'm just reading the kick and I'm absorbing. Once again, this is not something where we're throwing super powerful kicks, you know, you can do that on the bag. You can, once again, if your partner goes the wrong way, you could buckle their knee. So if your partner goofs up or something, that's why we're not throwing super, super hard kicks, especially when we're first learning them. So here we go. Daniel, you can kick first this time. Roy, you're defending. And begin. So reading his body movement, watching the center chest, but we're watching the shoulders rotate. We're seeing the knee come up. That's what we're looking for. So even though you're practicing the technique, we're also reading the body. All right, switching it up and go. All right, and time. So just to recap everything that we've worked on today, we discussed the low round kick, we discussed shielding and absorbing. So that is all lower body. You're gonna see here in a couple lessons where we talk about medium range kicks and high kicks as well. If you guys have any questions on this, always feel free to ask. Other than that, take care, be safe.